Happy Facebook Live Wednesday, guys. Today is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It has to do with instilling the love for lifelong learning, which is way more than just being successful or focused or achieving high grades in an academic environment. But as you all know, I've been an educator for, almost 28 years. And in all these years, I've noticed that there's always times in a child's academic life where they get frustrated, they lose the love for learning, and they just feel stressed out by the pressure of earning high grades, focusing in class, and learning, or actually being forced to learn, subjects that they don't care to learn, right? So how do we instill that lifelong learning? Well, I was curious to know the benefits of lifelong learning. Hey, Edwin. Thanks for joining. You are my soul sister's brother, right? Fran. I call her Farmer Franny. The benefits of lifelong learning, it is just nurtures the curious minds. Let me read a few. Build new skills, right? I mean, my classmate on the Big Island, her name is Fran, decided to move from New York, and now she has an amazing farm. She's making just chocolate, the finest chocolate. She does, everything you can imagine, and it truly was out of her comfort zone. And when I look at how much has transpired since she moved from New York, it just amazes me. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to get out of my comfort zone by interviewing. I'm planning my 100th interview for Letting Go with Aloha, an interview series I just started in 2020 during the pandemic. So I thought, what are the benefits? What is lifelong learning? It doesn't mean that you're going to be learning about math and history and economics. No, it involves much, much more. And why would you be interested in lifelong learning? Well, it increases your wisdom, right? We all, after seeing my mom suffer from Alzheimer's, we do want to continue to stimulate our neurons and really use all the parts of our brain, because if we don't, it is true, what you don't use, you lose. So it increases self-esteem, creates opportunities, and I love this quote: the mind isn't a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. And I thought, I've been running out of topics since this is my 106th Facebook Live, but I thought, this lifelong learning encompasses much more than learning. To me, the education itself is an atmosphere. It just doesn't take place in a classroom or in a child's bedroom when they are, trying to cram everything that must be learned in order to excel in an assessment, a quiz, a test. Trying to come up, I'm helping some of my 8th graders do research papers and coming up with credible sources, and it's a strain, right? And so many of my students cannot wait to graduate. Some of them are excited about college and the social part of it, the independence part of it, which also involves a lot of learning. So I've come to realize that learning is about self-discovery, trying new things. And some of you, have noticed that I have totally gotten out of my comfort zone, and I decided to experiment with watercolor, right? I had no idea what I was doing. Some of them are kind of weird. I decided to play with acrylic. Oh my gosh, it's my dog park friend, Robert, who I think, are you in Europe somewhere still? But anyway, back to my getting out of my comfort zone. This was in 2020. I think I decided to symbolize the Black Lives Matter and the COVID scare, well, actually the pandemic, mental health. And I just thought, am I comfortable in sharing, all of these somewhat unusual, I won't call it weird, but it is a new learning experience for me. Even doing, living 808 and interviews and just putting myself out there, major, major discomfort. Does it include the learning process? Definitely. I'm learning so much about myself, and I realize students need to learn that they must be curious. And if I've been tutoring a lot of younger children, age like 5 through 8. The teenagers have a different mindset because many of them just don't like the academic environment, right? But when you have a 5-year-old and they're just starting out, I've realized that if I can change your environment, I tutor sometimes at the park, but even if I'm at their grandma's house, I bring my colors, I bring different textured paper, I bring stickers, and a lot of times you'd be amazed if you use different modalities, you actually ask them what they're interested in. I've had kids watch YouTube videos about mongoose versus snake fights, who's going to win. Or, they learn about the dinosaur that they just discovered in their books, or maybe they visited a museum, or they want to know when was the, what's the value of a 1925 penny. And it's amazing that I've learned a lot. As an educator, I learned so much from my students. And how do we instill this? I mean, when you look at, a 5-year-old versus someone in their 90s who really possess a passion for learning, it all involves finding something that you're interested in. And it could be something that you might never have imagined an interest in. I would never have imagined, playing with watercolor. Well, my youngest daughter is now into the K-drama, K-pop. So I've been watching BTS, watching Stray Kids. It's another K-pop band who they have members from Australia. Australian K-pop, but I've been opening my mind, and now we're doing different Korean dishes, all because of my daughter's interest in K-pop. So I have learned a little bit about Fortnite. When I have kids write, I often want to choose a subject that they enjoy talking about, describing, and they'll be writing. Someone who just cannot stand writing will be writing all about the characters and why it's fun and the battles they've won. And it's all because I try my best to engage them in something that they have a passion about. So I love this concept on delight-directed learning. Like, what a great phrase, delight-directed, because self-directed is one thing. You want to be a self-directed learner, but how do you make studying for an exam? I remember tutoring someone in their 40s, and she had to take the postmaster exam, and she just did not like math. She had a stigma that she could not pass the math section. I remember going to the post office. I think she was like in Waianae, very far away from me, and we made math fun. And it was a challenge. But once I got her to realize that it didn't have to be this treacherous, horrible, terrifying subject, and she just needed a 70. I said, you've got this. And it just made me realize that my passion and mission is to instill passion in others to pursue either different parenting strategies, to pursue their interests so that they can help inspire others, especially themselves, to learn something totally different. I'm doing, helping a 7th grader with a research project, and I'm learning about, Wallis Futuna. Never even heard of this island. Learning about erosion, about what we can do to prevent and, erosion. And I just realized, anything, when you put the right spin on it, use the right colors. I do a lot of virtual tutoring, so I have kids draw on the drawing board, the whiteboard in Zoom, using different colors, making multiplication fun. I'll put all the answers and say, okay, use the pink pen, right, the pink little ink, and circle the answer to 9 times 7. I mean, you can memorize facts. You can make any dreary academic task or even chores. Use music. I had a 5-year-old who said, I hate putting away toys. I'd rather play on my iPad. And then we brainstormed and she said, okay, I'm going to play music and dance while I put my toys away. Brilliant. So just incorporate a little bit of learning. Maybe you can try a new dish and you think, but I don't really cook. It's just following instructions. Or maybe, you know, go on an adventure and find a place that you've never been to, and it could just be 20 minutes from your house. I didn't realize how many places I've yet explored in Mililani or within a 20-minute drive. So, you know, let children, if you don't have children, you don't know children, then be a child yourself. Access that inner child. Explore different topics of interest. Create, play, and just do what you love. I think a lot of us, and I think during the pandemic when we were stuck at home, many of us, you know, I heard of families doing jigsaw puzzles or playing tag or playing in their backyard. And it is amazing how creative our imaginations can be. I recently ordered these magnet tiles. You got to look it up on Amazon. I just ordered a small kit, but you know, sometimes in the middle of an academic assignment, I'll have my teenager take a 2-minute break and either do a brain game on my iPad. They play with tangrams. I encourage you to look up tangrams, 7 geometric shapes, and I have them create either their own masterpiece or create something that I found in my tangram puzzle book. But, you know, pursue your passion. Lifelong learning does not mean to fill your head up with intellectual facts or learn something that you dread. You know, it's not like, let's learn more about taxes. Although this past few weeks, we learned how to, my husband and I did our taxes, and then my mom's, because our CPA passed away during the pandemic. And we decided, you know, it becomes challenging and frustrating. So I learned that in the midst of frustration, use it as an opportunity to learn and be curious. What makes it just so frustrating that you just cannot stand doing it? And I noticed it was my feeling of incompetence. So then I have to practice patience. I realized that sometimes I just dread. You know, I like to write, but I notice when I have an assignment to write, it becomes something totally different where I procrastinate. So my thing is when I have to do something, I do 10 minutes at a time. Oftentimes I'll go longer than 10 minutes, but try this, you know, make your passion into part of your lifelong journey. Get excited and help your children or anyone that you know in your life, help them with their developmental journey, because we are constantly developing. Our brains are constantly evolving. So if we are able to just, you know, access and stimulate our neurons, and lately, you know, brain scientists, neurologists, they've discovered the secret of neuroplasticity, meaning that you are able to regrow the damaged parts of your brain. But how do we do it? Learn something new. Get out of your comfort zone and pursue. I invite every one of you to make part of your life goal to pursue lifelong learning. And see it as fun, because you have the opportunity to influence a child. You know, some child may be watching you when you're in the mall and they might be in a really sad mood and they see you doing something fun and act silly. You know, I've been having my students put lotion on their feet and massage it, and it's amazing that within 30 seconds of getting out of their comfort zone, I've seen grumpy kids laugh hysterically. And that's when I realized it doesn't take much time to make learning fun. So thank you for watching. I invite you to get out of your comfort zone, change locations even. I noticed that when I'm at the park, I never would have tutored at a park, but during the pandemic and recently I've decided only to focus in Mililani. And so anyone who has, you know, kids outside of Mililani, and if they don't want to do Zoom, they just drop their kids off at the park. And I'm learning that I can tutor in the rain. I have a huge raincoat that they put over them. They hold an umbrella, and learning takes place in an environment sometimes that they don't like. And I tell them that it's okay if their paper gets wet. It's just for us, right? And really teach kids that it's okay to get out of their comfort zone. It's okay to be grumpy. It's okay to even make mistakes. That's a hard one, because every child that I've worked with, hey Declan, they all feel really crummy when they make a mistake. And so I always tell them, who taught you that making mistakes was a bad thing? Well, they get punished for it, right? They have negative consequences. And most of all, if you earn bad grades, you literally define yourself by your grade. And I used to define myself. I mean, I think as a mom, if my girls made choices, or, you know, all of our kids at one time or another engage in behavior that, you know, we might not be proud of, and it could just be a little mini temper tantrum. I get upset at myself for losing patience, but truly, truly be grateful for whatever experience you attract. There is no negative experiences. They're just lifelong learning opportunities. Thank you guys for watching. And if you want to get out of your comfort zone, and message me or share what is something new that you would like to pursue in order to navigate your lifelong learning journey, share it, please. I would love to hear about it. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys.